Hello and welcome. I am so glad you're here. I'm Beth, a creator-based coach with CMH Coaching for Life. I'm here today to help you and those you love create a life you feel grounded and at home in. Think of a life where you feel peace, love for those around you, and in a flow with just enough challenge to keep you happy and creating something wonderful. Sounds like magic, but it's not. You can create that life every single day. You can have a life full of love, excitement, hope, and creation. Our mission at CMH Coaching is to flood the earth with light through compassion, mindfulness, and hope. And I'm going to ask a favor of you. If you like what you see and hear today, think of someone you know that would enjoy and benefit from this message. Our mission is to flood the world with compassion, mindfulness, and hope. Share this with them. But for now, this is time just for you. So settle into whatever you're doing and enjoy this time with the girls, where we create that one awesome, amazing, perfect life every one of us is seeking.
You gotta watch your thinking. Watch your thinking. Watch your thinking.
Yeah, we're ready. There. Well, welcome to A Creator-Based Life, the podcast for CMH coaching and all things creator-based. We're here for women of faith, for all y'all, and for anybody who wants to create a life they love. I'm here with Jacine Bonnet. Sorry, I got to tell everybody up front, I'm sleepy today. Jacine Bonnet, who I can say her name. Jen DeRoos. Say hi, Jen.
Hello.
There you go. That way the Zoom recording will show your face. Yeah. And we are here today to talk about the 9th C. I can't believe that we have made it all the way through the 9 C's. We'll be finishing up next week with the 10th, obviously.
Yep.
But today we're going to talk about the 9th C. And the 9th C is choice. And to me, it's one of the most powerful C's there are. I think choice and compassion are tied for me, because I can't do good choices without compassion either.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I need to have that. But all of them are important. And I've been practicing, Jen. I don't know. Can you say all of Richard's 8?
Okay,
I have them on my desktop so I can cheat if I have to. But I've been working on it, and I got 7 out of 8.
So let's see. There's curiosity, calm, confidence, connected, clarity, creativity, courage, compassion, and then choice.
Good job.
Wow.
Oh,
wow.
Good job.
No,
I don't know. Did
eat,
you
breathe,
memorize?
and think all those, because I love the IFS model. So of course, so there it is.
Yeah. Well, and it's true. When you are in your centered space, when you are grounded in your centered self, you really do feel those things. And it's just the best feeling ever. So let's talk today about how choice is part of that centered self then. I can tell you a little bit about my weekend, and then Jen can tell you a little bit about hers. It wasn't necessarily your weekend, but it was pretty close to the weekend anyway. But I had a knockdown drag out with my ever-loving man, and it made a mess of life at my house. I mean, it was and it was a stupid, you know how most arguments are, a stupid knockdown drag out that started with a question and culminated in lots of pride and lots of anger. And so I was working on it. It happened on a Sunday afternoon. I worked on it obviously Sunday evening and worked on repenting and getting myself right with God, and lots of thinking, what happened? How did that go? You know? Mm-hmm. And, but when I woke up the next morning, it was still there. And what I got up on on the wrong side of the bed, and it was like, I thought I was good and I'd feel really peaceful. And then there was this part who was just so mad, and she'd be back in there and she's like, well, if he hadn't, and he shouldn't have, and this, and yada, yada, yada. And I'd have to go back in to that process of sorting and consoling and repenting and seeking to forgive, and it would come back to peace. And I'd be, oh, good, I'm done. And then I'll tell you guys, not 10 minutes later, I'm back down to the bottom, livid all over again.
Right.
Then just livid. And then again, the process, go through the whole process, the understanding, the forgiveness, the repentance, the whole bit, and back to peace. And it was really interesting because part of that was, it went on all day long. And then the next morning, after I'd really had the day to work on it, that part just kind of was okay. It just settled down and I was good. And it would try to come back with, well, but the sputter, right? Well, what about the sputter? And I'm like, no, we're good. We're good. And things had smoothed out with Troy, and we'd been able to talk things through, and we understood it. And it was good. But what was interesting for me was the choice that I had to make over and over and over again, as that part of me that was so offended, and I really was really hurt and really offended, get down there and just start to rant and rail. And I'm going to go pick a fight, because if I pick this fight, I'm going to feel better. Right. And then to console that part and to do the things that I know work for me and change my thoughts. And then I would come back up again. And it was so powerful to see that I could change through a choice. It was wild. And it was like, you remember the Viktor Frankl quote? Hold on. I have it and I can read it. Everything can be taken from a man, but one thing. Remember that one? The last of the human freedoms. To choose one's attitude. And I love that, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way. And that was kind of what I felt like I was doing every time it was almost like a yo-yo. I'd drop the yo-yo and it'd go down there, and you know how they just hover for just a second?
Yeah.
And I'd sputter and be mad. And then I could stay there and sputter. And Cricket brought this up yesterday when we were talking about it. She says, well, what happens if you leave the yo-yo at the bottom? It just starts to spin just wildly. It just spins and spins and spins. And I'm like, you're right. Because then your brain just goes crazy. But to make the choice when it was down there, to take that moment, right, and pop the string and let it come back up again. And to just, I did the yo-yo thing all morning long and some of the next day, but eventually.
Isn't it interesting? Isn't it interesting, Beth, that it just takes a little pop to readjust?
It's just a pop, right?
Just a little motion.
Yeah. And isn't that what the choice is?
Just a little, little pop.
It's like, okay, what's the next best thing to do? Just a little. Choose the next best thing. And for me, unfortunately, that was a lot of repentance and a lot of asking for help and forgiving, because none of that other part wanted to be forgiving. The other part wanted to escalate and get things really going.
Yeah. The injustice of it all.
Yeah. Well, and it goes back, another one of Viktor Frankl's, we're not sure it's Viktor Frankl, Stephen Covey used it, and we think it's attributed to Viktor Frankl, but is that moment of choice, which is what I saw at the bottom. Between stimulus and response, there's a space. It's where your yo-yo sits. Yeah. And in that moment, you get to choose. Are you going to pop it up with the little movement? Or are you going to leave it down there, just spin wildly, until it dies?
Until it dies. Until the strings all strung out.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, and we all get our feelings hurt. We all get angry. This is just common to us all. And so that analogy of seeing my yo-yo really helped me go, okay, well, what's the next best thing I could do?
Right.
Yeah. So you guys have experiences like my yo-yo? Do share, because we want to hear. Inquiring minds want to know.
Every day.
Yeah. Whether I'm going to get up grumpy or I'm not going to say I'm going to let him sleep. Whether I'm going to get up grumpy or I'm going to get up cheerful.
Yeah.
That's the first choice I make every day. What are my first thoughts going to be? And I choose it, because my default is not positive.
Yeah.
So I need to choose to be the positive.
I think we get caught up in, and I was guilty of this, and I still am, of thinking, especially when it's something that happens to us instead of maybe my own choice, that once something happens to me, I feel like my choice is taken away, you know?
Yeah, you move into a victim space.
It's
You
really,
did this to me.
yeah, really easy to move into that victim space. Whether that's maybe it's done to me or maybe it's something that I do accidentally, like a fall or, just like
Yes, Jen, you're going to have to
screwing
tell your story. Just say
screwing
it.
up my knee, whatever,
Right,
whatever it is, right? It's
right.
really easy for me. And I think a lot of people just to move into that, oh, I, this happened to me, this happened to me. And you want to get people on board on your side that are like, really, that's just so, you know,
Well,
that's just wrong or that,
that's
and
terrible.
it doesn't, maybe it helps me a little bit occasionally, but most often it just fuels my fire.
Mm.
And then I still stay in that victim mode, or then I turn into the persecutor because here I am saying not nice things, even though they're true. They might be true about a person or a situation, but when I'm not saying kind things, I'm a persecutor then. And
And
I'm looking to be rescued, you know?
yeah, seeking to be rescued. I recognized that. I did an overnight with one of my granddaughters. She is 10. At least she'll be 10 in June. And it was really interesting to see her pattern on the world. In a large measure, she saw injustice. And when she saw injustice, she had an opinion. And
Mhm.
so then she took her opinion and she built a story around the opinion
Yes.
and came to you with the injustices and looked for you to support and validate her opinion. And I had never seen it that way, but that is exactly what I think we do as people. We have an expectation that's not met. We have an opinion, and then we go about building the story to create that. And it was so clear. There are 3 or 4 different times she was telling me sad tales. And really, I just supported her and loved on her. But it was so interesting to see it so clearly that we
But
started.
when we recognize that we have the choice,
Yes.
when
Then we
we can
change.
we interrupt
Yeah,
that thought pattern, right?
yeah.
Here's my thinking. First, I recognize, oh, wait, what's going on? Whoa, right?
Is it true?
Is it true? Is it
Is it
kind?
kind? Is it helpful? Right?
Helpful? Right?
Is it true? No. Well, I don't know that it's true, but I want it to be true by golly.
Feels true.
It feels true.
Feels
Yeah.
so
It's my
true.
truth. It's my truth today, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
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 Is it
I've
helpful?
learned to also ask, is there more to this? Like, is there more to this story, Or even, could there be an alternate explanation to this? Like I try to like create doubt within my own, like I'm so
Poke
right
holes
about
in your
this.
theory.
Yeah, yeah, and sometimes you can't, and so I really feel like because sometimes you're just wronged. Okay, that's okay.
Sometimes it really is just a terrible
True.
thing.
Yeah, but
It really is. Those are
if
the mornings you wake up and you just don't want to do that day because something really tragic has happened.
yeah, but if I can like kind of like try and see it differently or like create a different story or different explanation, it helps me have a different viewpoint on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when we recognize it too, like I was just thinking when you said something tragic that happens, right? We still
We
don't
still
have
have
to be
choice.
victim. We still have choice, and we still get to choose to be kind to ourselves and to give ourselves grace. And so, ladies, we're not saying, oh, just always think a happy thought, because
No.
that's not always the answer, but we always have a choice.
Well, and there is always a place with that choice for curiosity and compassion. Self-compassion and like Jen was saying, exploring is huge. And sometimes in tragedy, when there's shock and you're just in survival mode, all you can do is self-compassion.
Mhm.
Oh, that really hurt, and sit with yourself and speak to yourself like you would a small child and love yourself. It takes some time to process trauma. It's really hard. Jen, you look like you have something to say.
Oh, no, I'm just sitting here thinking a lot of things.
Well, share.
No, I like what you said, because sometimes when we're going through hard, it's okay to acknowledge that we're going through hard and it hurts, and it's okay to not show up how you think you should show up, because this is your life experience.
Right.
And so, I just like what you said. I'm like, it's okay to acknowledge that this sucks,
Yeah.
and it hurts. So
Yeah, this that I learned from Kristen, not Kristen Neff, but yeah, Kristen Neff, that's
What's
right.
Kristen?
Where
Yeah.
she rubs her arm, well, on it, and just ouch, that
it's a
hurt.
comfort.
Just that
Mhm.
line, ouch, that hurt, with some self-comfort. For me to be able to say, ouch, that hurt, is really validating.
Yes.
No, I'm not going to brush by it because I want things to be better.
Yeah.
I'm going to validate and acknowledge that did hurt. And then when I'm ready, for however long that takes, take a little curiosity, after that self-compassion. But both of those things are conscious choice.
Mhm.
And that's why I find choice to be such a powerful C.
Yeah.
The other thing is, when we're in that centered self, choice is empowering. We feel empowered to make a choice. There are other times in our lives before this where we really didn't feel empowered to make a choice, right?
True. Yeah.
Can you guys think of one? I can't think of one off the top of my head where I felt swept away and just couldn't, for whatever reason, make a choice.
Well, for me, a lot of times is if I'm in a conflict situation and I can't steer the
Adrenaline is
conflict-
high.
Yeah, I can't steer the conflict to be resolved or what I think should happen.
Mhm.
Then I don't feel like I have choice. But what I have learned to understand is, in that moment, I still do have choice on how emotionally I'm going to show up,
Mhm.
how I'm going to then deal with this thing that I can't control. And so there's
We were-
still always choice. You just have to back up and see, well, what is my choice in this, since I can't control this or
Yes.
the outcome that I want.
Yes, and that the key is back up and see.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
Nancy, at Coach and Clear yesterday, she's telling me, she's like, I am married to the nicest person on earth. He is just
Aw.
such a nice man. But when we get at odds, because we all did have a little dump time of sharing about when we've gotten at odds with our partners. But when I get at odds with him, I just step back just enough to figure out how long I need. And when it's some of these big things, she's just been, I need 3 days,
Mhm.
or I need till tomorrow. But just to be able to voice how long we need to step back so we can process is a really powerful thing. Like you said, step back. You don't have to stay in a hard situation where you feel overwhelmed. You can step back, and that's a really important choice.
I think
it's not-
sometimes when we're like, I'm just thinking of a situation where I'm at right now in work,
Mhm.
I think anytime we feel trapped or, this is just
Overrun.
is overrun, or yeah, it just, I need this job, I need the money, I need this, but the culture isn't working for me, or whatever it is, right? We feel like, what choice do I have? I just have to put up with this, whether it's my
Yes.
boss or or my pay or a combo, it's just,
But I need this. I have to stay.
I have to stay, right? Or what's going to happen if I don't stay? Or what's going to happen if I ask for that raise that I deserve, right? What's going to happen what if they just say, sorry, we're not going to pay you that.
What if they
Oh,
laugh
by
at me?
the way, we're going to cut your position. What if, like, we start these stories,
The spinning yo-yo.
the spinning yo-yo.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that makes I think that makes it a challenge, because you do kind of feel trapped. But the empowering part comes in wait, I have a choice. This is who I am. This is my value. And if this happens, I guess that's your choice too. Do I choose to stay in it? And how bad is it? And is it what's this doing to my body? And is that worth it? Because guys, when you're in situations like that, your body talks to you and my body yells at me.
She does. Mine too. She's
Yeah,
very
yeah.
strong. Yeah. But I love what you were saying about when you're in that situation, you have the choice. For me, finding a moment of choice quite often involves just a little practice in pausing.
Mhm.
And I know you guys have done it too, where for me, quite often, I just find my feet
Yes.
because that I feel powerful when I feel grounded in my feet. Another coach that I follow uses what she calls practice the pause, which is just 2 deep breaths. And
Mhm.
she follows the feeling that brings her into her body, the feeling of the air as it comes in and then as it goes out, just for 2 breaths. She said the whole thing takes less than 1 minute. But if I were, and I've done this when I was in a heated conversation, shifted the focus to do the 2 breaths. And then I felt more grounded and I could make a better choice in the way that conversation was going to proceed for me, because I'm always in charge of the conversation I'm in, because I am the creator of my life experience. But we forget when it gets intense. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's good. What are you thinking, Jen?
Well, I've realized I do something when I'm in that space, that I didn't realize I was doing, that my body was telling me that I tend to hold my breath.
Yeah, me too.
Yes.
Yes. And so I'm like, oh, so I'm learning now. And I was doing this subconsciously too, that I was subconsciously exhaling pretty slowly, like, like a controlled, and it's like, oh my gosh, this is a
Look at
body
me.
cue. And so I've been able to connect that with some of my thoughts. I'm like, oh, my body's already trying to calm my nervous system and create that space for me. So it was interesting when I mean, and this has just been a few months ago. I was like, oh my gosh, I've been doing this.
That's
So
so
That's
cool.
isn't
cool
that
that you
kind of
have trained
cool?
yourself in that way.
Well, and subconsciously, I didn't even know. And so now all of a sudden, like, I guess, stars aligned and I realized it. But yeah.
I think that you started it, like you said, subconsciously because of the way you're immersed in your life,
Oh, yeah.
because
Yes.
you're immersed in the healing arts and because you're always teaching it or you're always talking about it, and so it just becomes who you are.
Mhm.
Yeah. People you hang with make a big difference too. Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, I know you work with lots of different people in your hypnotherapy class, and I know you did the summer camp last year where you really helped people with your imagery. That
That
kind of
retreat.
stuff, being with those people that are also involved in betterment, self-betterment,
Mhm.
that really cements things like that. I think that's what we're seeing with Coaching Clear too, that the girls in our Coaching Clear group, because they come every week, there's always a new thought to work on. And so they're finding similar things are happening with, oh, I did that differently. And I feel better about that response because they're coming on the regular and getting things cleared out and learning to take care of themselves.
Mhm.
It makes a big difference. Well, anything else you want to say about choice? Because I have something to say that we've been reading in book club. Nothing else you want to say about choice? Well, let me just tell you then, because I finished the book and it was hysterical.
You
It,
did more than 3 miles per hour then.
I did more. Well, I can't. I don't know how to go 3 miles per hour, but I so enjoyed it. I especially enjoyed the contrast between the continents she traveled and the different ways people received Americans.
Mhm.
It was so interesting, and it's a big part of her book because she was shocked at the ways that people interacted with her. And then because she left from Denver heading west, she came back to the United States through the Statue of Liberty and into New York, and she just about wanted to kiss the ground when she got here. And then she finished going from New York to Denver. And it just made me feel so good about who we are as a people. And she was just funny. I mean, some of the things that she
She's
encountered
so
were
funny,
fantastic.
right?
Yes. It was such a good choice. I don't even know how you guys picked it, but it was a great book club choice.
That's we came to a decision. It was a suggestion by
Mhm.
one of our book club members, either Sheila or Tracy, and we looked it up, and everybody said, "Yeah, let's try that one." Yeah, so
Funny. She was just funny. So where are you reading this week? And are you meeting? What's going on with that?
yeah, so we're gonna switch days to Thursdays instead of Wednesdays at the same time,
What time will
1:30
it be?
Central, 1:30
1:30.
Central. Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, and that some of our regulars are just having a really their schedules and things have changed, so they just are not unable to do that. So we, as of next week, we will be meeting on Wednesdays at
And
1:30.
that's a Wednesdays at 1:30 Central. Okay.
Correct.
So
Wednesdays or Thursdays?
I'm sorry, Thursdays.
Yeah.
Thursdays. Okay. So if it's Thursdays at 1:30 Central,
Yeah.
it's a 30-minute group,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
So we'll do 30 minutes of book club and then an hour of Coach and Clear,
There you
because
go.
Coach and Clear is 2 o'clock at Thursdays
Yep.
Central Time.
Yeah.
That works very nice. Somebody could just come and stay an hour and a half and have a bunch of fun.
And like self-care.
Yeah, great self-care for a Thursday afternoon. I like that.
Yeah.
That's very cool. Well, it's been a
Mhm.
week, right? Jen, you want to hold your wing up and show the world? Jen did something to her arm this week. Do you want to just give a thumbnail? Tell us what you've learned so far.
I broke my elbow. You can break your elbow, apparently.
Apparently you can.
Yeah. No, a lot of learning, and I think I'm still processing. So maybe some of the learnings will come out in other podcasts.
I'm
but
sure it will.
Yeah.
a lot of learning, a lot of good amidst the
So
pain.
y'all send Jen some extra prayers and love and light for sure.
For sure.
That elbow will heal quickly, because a lot of things require bending and unbending your arm.
So hard being one-handed.
Yes. And there's so many choices that will come up now, because all the
Oh,
things
yes.
that you automatically do,
Uh-huh.
you're going to have to rethink and make new choices.
I know, and I'm learning that there's just some things that we just take for granted, and just. But I'm also like learning, maybe slowing down isn't bad. Doing
No,
things differently isn't bad. It's just.
it's a gift of presence at that point.
Mm.
Yeah, we'll work on that.
Yeah. Well, this is our last quarter. Okay, so by the end of this month, which is not too far off, that's about a week and a half, we'll finish the mindfulness quarter, and then we start a new quarter. Jacine, do you want to talk at all about Jubilee and about the new quarter?
Oh, so we are starting the year of Jubilee.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
Not just the quarter, but just focusing on Jubilee means rest. And it means, like, if you go back to what were we looking at, Beth, where it gave us the definition that it was like every 7 years they took
It's
a
in
year.
the Bible. Yeah,
The
it's in
Bible,
the
they
Bible. It's
they
every
had a
7
year.
years.
Yeah, they had a year of Jubilee, which if you look at a lot of companies, they have the sabbatical during,
Which is the same root, because it's Sabbath.
yes,
Sabbath, sabbatical, and Jubilee. It's all the same root. Yeah.
which is just so interesting. And so we're going to be starting also quarterly joy meetings. So
Yeah.
I'll be hosting those, and it'll just be some time to come and spend on a Saturday morning, once a quarter, just
Catch some joy.
basking in joy and light. And I think we need that in our world today. So
We do.
kicking that off next month in April. Yeah.
Yeah, April the 1st,
Our
April the 1st,
day.
25 to April the 1st, 26. Our
Mhm.
Jubilee year. It's the 7th birthday for CMH Coaching, for formally being our trademark, and everything came through 7 years ago. And so it's our Jubilee year. We got some real special things coming up as part of that Jubilee, not the least of which is starting coach or influencer training again. For
Right.
those of us who are big influencers, which is everybody, you guys, because if you're a mom, you're a big influencer in your family. If you're a
Mhm.
teacher, you're a big influencer in your classroom. If you're active in any kind of community, even Facebook, you are a big influencer, or Instagram. This training is going to help you to create the influence that you feel you want to have on the world. And so that influencer training will start in April as well. And there's information coming out on it. You should get something by text and you should get something by email in the next week or so, if it's something that you want to do. But it's going to be really powerful. And a whole year of that meeting together. You talk about Jen unconsciously blowing out the breath. A whole year of meeting with people and talking about these things and practicing the different techniques and learning to do them for others is going to be powerful. You might want to turn it into coaching. You might not, but either way, it's a profound influence on the world.
It is. And it's something that can be used in the workspace. I use it every day in my profession. I use it with my grandchildren. I use it with my adult children. I use it with my husband. So
I use it in a long grocery line.
it's, come and learn. Come and change. Come and become.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is. I'm really, really excited about it. I think it's going to be a great Jubilee year, which interestingly, Jubilee year means, it doesn't mean a year of rest. It means a year of spiritual instruction and learning, which is the way it was defined in the Bible. And you had the year of rest because otherwise you wouldn't have time to do the instruction and the learning. So it's a year that is spent getting ready for what is to come, the great things that are coming.
It kind of comes to my mind too when I think of Jubilee, and then you talk about, it's a year of resting. Well, you're resting from working, and so you're kind of like getting ready for something. But I also, when I hear Jubilee, I can't help but think of rejoicing.
Yes.
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 It's a year of, instead of working, we're also going to be rejoicing. So,
well, it causes me to rejoice just to think I've been doing coaching since 2014, but we only actually started the business in 2019. So this is our 7th year, and just, it causes me pause just to think of the number of people who have contributed to my joy over the last 7 years, and the goodness that I have experienced personally because of the incredible people that we work with in the creator-based family. Everybody comes to be coached, but what they don't realize is what they bring to be coached on blesses all of us. We all learn together and we all make a better life together because of it. It's just amazing.
I love that.
So excited about Jubilee year. Just don't get me started. I could go on and on, but we are out of time. So we are not going on and on.
So come.
Yeah, just come.
Come rejoice with us.
Come rejoice with us. Come celebrate a Jubilee year and see what you learn and how your life improves. And we will talk more next week. Bye, you all. Bye, you guys.
Beth, wait.
I'm waiting.
I don't know if you want to work this into the Jubilee year, but do you know that Dr. Schwartz also has 5 more things he's added to the self description?
Please tell.
C's. It's the 5 P's.
Okay.
It's about patience, persistence, presence, perspective, and playfulness.
Oh, I love all of those. That would be so fun.
And doesn't it kind of sound Jubilee-like?
Yes.
They do, except for the patience, but that's okay.
No, but think about patience as part of rest. You have to have patience to rest.
Yeah.
You just don't like that word.
Okay, well, let's talk about that. Let's finish the 10 C's, which we'll finish up next week. And then let's talk about the 5 P's and see how it will apply in our Jubilee year and how we can create the life experience that we want using these quality traits. They're just wonderful. I love that, Jen.
I love it.
He added this a few years ago. So.
5 P's. All right.
All right. Take care.
Where we're going next. Now we know. Take care of your wing.
It hurts. You gotta go take medicine.
Yeah, go take. All right.
Rest.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
I can choose to be happy, choose to be free, moment by moment. It's all up to me, 'cause what I think about, I bring about. That's the way it is, and there is no doubt. Day by day, I pave the way with every little thought I think.
for joining us today in A Creator-Based Life. I hope you felt that compassion, mindfulness, and hope you came seeking today. You can find more of it at cmhcoaching.com or on Linktree/CMHcoaching. Of course, any social media outlet, we're there too. Because you felt the benefit and light in this message, please invite those you care deeply about to join us. Help us to create a ripple effect across the globe of compassion, mindfulness, and hope. Then we can create a creator-based life together. Have a great week, y'all. We'll talk to you.
Choose to be free, moment by moment. It's all up to me, 'cause what I think about, I bring about. That's the way it is, and there is no doubt. Day by day, I pave the way with every little thought I think. Day by day, I pave the way with every little thought I